Hello, beautiful people. Like, share, and subscribe. I want to talk about this lady called Jacinta Zinle. I think Zuma, Mango, whatever. She's a South African lady, and she used to be a radio presenter, and she has a very big obsession for Nigeria. And I want to talk about how her push for hatred and xenophobia might materialize into something bloody in the future. You understand? And one thing about South Africa is that when their citizens start taking laws into their hand, their government always does as if they don't see them, you know. So let me tell you what even made me do this news. So I was going to, because I follow this girl's page, this is Jacinta. She's an architect of xenophobia and hatred. In fact, there's no day she doesn't spew hatred or bringing one type of one-sided story just to malign foreigners. She doesn't like Zimbabweans. She has even gone as far as saying that it's better for her to die than to marry a Nigerian. You understand what I'm saying? So what she does is that she looks for the negative news of foreigners, and cherry picks it, and so that it will look as if that's the only story about these people, you know. And that could also lead us to the dangers of a single story, because there are a lot of Nigerians in South Africa that are doing remarkable things, like they are doctors, some of them are professionals, but she'd also ever posted it just to post about the negative thing. In fact, some South Africans in the rural area think that all foreigners are Nigerian. That's the way some of them are obsessed with Nigerians. So this lady, I was going to her Facebook page. You can see the other picture on the right. That's Nigerian Union South Africa. So I think they elected their president. Now, guess what this girl said on her page? That all of you are drinking and whatever, and these people are creating a political party. You understand what I'm saying? So, what is she doing? If you go to the comment section, you see she's inciting these people. And what I noticed when I lived in South Africa is that an average black South African is full of hunger, quiet hunger, hidden hunger. So that's why you see that a lot of South African men are quiet. At least I can talk about the Zulus. They are quiet, but they can be very violent, and their violence stems from growing up in broken homes. Like most South African black men didn't grow up with fathers, so they didn't have a structure of control. And that's why you see a lot of black South Africans have obsession with killing their women. Like South African men have the highest gender-based violence, and the reason why this is happening is because um, these women train up these children, these male children, and these male children feel like they are the men of the house. So when they have a girlfriend, they will feel like, oh, I can control this girl. You understand what I'm saying? And if the girl doesn't agree to their control, the next thing it becomes violent and they kill the girl, especially when they are fending for the girl. It was in South Africa I started seeing news like policeman shoots his wife. Like in South Africa, if you date a policeman's wife or girlfriend, you're choosing death most likely, because what you will hear in the news sometimes, it's not a regular thing, is that the policeman shoots the woman, shoots you, and shoots himself, and three of you is going to die. I'm telling you. So these are things I observe. So this guy is always spinning a kind of false narrative about Nigerians, making her people to hate Nigeria. But the people she hates most is Zimbabwe, But there are some element of truth in what she used to say. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm very objective here. She says that foreigners must go and visit their country. And I must tell you the truth, Nigeria has a lot of foreigners, but in Nigeria, people don't actually care about foreigners. You understand what I'm saying? Foreigners are dominate things in Nigeria. Let me use the Lebanese and the Indians. They are into businesses and they maltreat our people, but Nigerians are not obsessed with them, because I'm not like majority of our people are also very hardworking, and we are dominating in the retail sector, especially, and maybe some big businesses. But in South Africa, I'm going to tell you that there's a lot of foreigners in South Africa. A lot. You can see the whole African country in South Africa. So I believe that South Africa, just by eye gauge, even without data, you will see Zambians, you will see Cameroon, you will see Benin Republic, Congo, everybody's there. Even people from Lebanon, Syria, there's no country that is not in South Africa, because it's a well-structured country, you know. So there's a lot of foreigners there. So what she's saying is that foreigners should go home and feed their country. But the way she does it, she's trying to paint one-sided narrative and to malign foreigners, to bring up one hate. You know what I mean now? Just the way some Igbos and Yorubas are doing on social media, you just paint one narrative of the tribe. Like that's the only thing they do. You paste only if an is a Igbo person, you post negative about Yoruba. If it's a Yoruba, you paste negative about the Igbo only on his page. You understand? It's Northerners that don't have time for that most times. I don't know whether they have pages that are doing now, but I can tell you that on social media there are few. So this Jacinta is pushing a lot of hatred. So this is just a union. This Nigerian Union South Africa that has been in existence for a long time. Now this guy is claiming that they form a political party, and this is how xenophobia starts. Initially, when I started seeing her page, she used to push for. She mildly calls for killing of people. This lady, she was mildly calling for her people to take laws into their. And this funny lady here, she has a child. I don't know whether it's two children. She has a husband. And she just imagine somebody killing you just because you're an illegal foreigner. That's the mentality of. Have you ever heard of it in any part of the world? It's not like you committed a crime, oh. Just for the fact that you're a foreigner. These people can kill you. These black South Africans. And this, their legislator, she was in fire from a radio station because of this. You imagine being paid in the radio station and you're pushing narratives of hatred, like the world is your own. But another thing, this thing causing, these are the things that made me have self-reflection about how we should face our leadership. Because in Nigeria, nobody cares about foreigners. Most times, like 90%, 95% of Nigerians don't care about foreigners, and we don't blame foreigners for our problem. When in South Africa, many of them blame foreigners for their problem. They blame foreigners for owning all the saloons. They blame foreigners for um, having big buildings. They blame foreigners. If they hear that a foreigner owns all those skyscrapers, they will be angry. What made you not to hustle? Live in Nigeria, foreigners own things here. Our people don't. Maybe people can get angry one day and forget, but in South Africa, it's a continuous thing. This girl preaches hatred, and so now she's pushing hatred that Nigerians are forming a political party, and there's nothing like that. The other time, she even went as far as saying that a Zimbabwean man went to children to the hospital and pulled out a gun. And the funny thing is that nobody saw the Zimbabwean man pull out the gun. She was the only person that carried that full story just to malign Zimbabweans and bring that hatred. Do you understand? So no Nigerian from this thing has been in existence, I think since 2018, this NOESA. You understand? Nigerian Union of South Africa or whatever. You understand? It has been in existence. So the girl is not they are forming a political party, and these people can be so bitter. They are like bitter leaf, these people. If they stay with them, many of them are like that. There's no amount of help you will help most of them. That they are the most selfish set of people I've seen in my life. These black South Africans, especially they are men. I'm not talking about their women. Their men are very selfish. Their women too are like that, but their women are better. Do you understand? Because the women have more leadership quality than the men, but the men are so bitter. And it's a matriarchal society. So that's why you see a lot of women leaders lead. And when women lead a society, in a broken society, where there's a lot of single mothers, it's going to lead to a degenerator of crime and everything. One of the reasons why they have a high crime rate is because the single mothers cannot train the boys well. And the boys turn to gangster because at the point the boys have to fend for themselves. They start having this insecurity in their minds and consciousness, and before you know, they become wild. But they will not blame the people. These people will be imagine these people, these black South Africa will be blaming foreigners for them taking drugs. Now the question I used to ask them, some Nigerians and some other foreigners and some white people that sell this drug, why don't their children take these drugs? Why? With the supply, they have the supply. Why are their children not taking it? So, instead of you to blame your upbringing, me, am I taking drugs? I know many of my friends, they don't even smoke and everything. But in South Africa, you see a small boy of 13 years, he's smoking, he's telling you have stress. 13 years, 14 years. So that their society needs a role. Their government needs to encourage family to have people to have father, mother, and everything, and reduce their labola. Their labola is like bride price. They pay 10 cows, so that the country would have a positive structure, so that their crime reduce. Because their government keep trying to tackle crime, but they cannot because it's from the home, it's from upbringing. Imagine when you're from small, you're already taught to start hating foreigners. Foreigners are the cause of your problem. Foreigners are the reason why you don't have job. Foreigners are taking your women. Now this girl on the left in this picture, go and check her. Her name is on Facebook, Jacinta Zille, Zuma, Mango, whatever rubbish name is that. Pushing hatred 24 hours of the day, 7 days a week, early morning, on Christmas too, she will post. There's no break. Oh. So I don't know. The future of foreigners in South Africa is actually bleak. So those of you that are still there, or those of you that are there, is either you lay low or you step out of that country, because I don't know. And the government is kind of stylishly supporting them, maybe because of election or this thing. Yeah, but I know, yes, there are some valid talks in what they are saying, but the way they are going about it, They can be campaigning for kill. Some of them will be doing a hambe. They will put matches, put petrol, like the symbol. That's the only solution to kill foreigner. How can you kill somebody just because it's illegal? Not because he committed a crime. That's the way these people are wired. Their mentalities is warped, like stupid. Let me not say anything. There are a lot of wonderful people I met there too. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Those of you that have lived there, how does this their online hatred does it affect you? You understand? And just let me know your thoughts.